Avigdor Miller, Zatzal, Kodesh, the things that came out of his mouth always had a source, always were according to halacha, always were according to what Torah says, never steering right, never steering left, and never sugarcoating it. One time an immodest woman came into his yeshiva, and he noticed that it's bothering the men. Students there, there's Talmidim, learning. Some immodest woman came to the yeshiva for whatever reason. He told one of the students, he goes, go tell that cow to hide the parts that are giving the milk. Go tell the cow to put clothes on herself. This is yeshiva. You didn't care about offended, not offended. It's offensive that you came to a kollel, to a place of kodesh, without clothes on. That's offensive. It's offensive you forgot to put clothes on, and you went into the street and you call yourself a Bat Yisrael. It's offensive that you walk around like this, and you are actually, according to our Torah, you're my sister, you're my brother, you're acting like something like you're everybody else. That's offensive. You read some of the things that he wrote, it's unbelievable. It's like, this is 15 years ago. Rav Nisim again? He tells people, listen, look at the Gemara, look at what the Gemara says, he tells the people. Because according to the Gemara, Masechet Brachot, a person that goes to a mixed beach, en lo chelek le'olam haba, has no share of the world to come. We're not talking about, oh, it's not good. Oh, you shouldn't do it. Oh, chaval, why are you wasting your time? No! He told you, you go to a mixed beach. Everyone's practically half naked, completely naked, always, whatever it is. Everybody's in underwear. And you think it's okay. Shalom Yeli, you say. He says, everything's going to be fine with me. He says, according to the Torah, you have just lost your olam haba until you do tshuva. It doesn't mean you keep Shabbat, kosher, tefillin 3 times a day if you want. Now, when I first heard this, it's like, come on, it's magzim, extreme. You know how many Jews go to the beach? You know how many Jews go to the beach? I'm not talking about the non-religious Jews. I'm talking about frum, religious. Religious, you know how many Jews go to the beach? So you have to look this up. Rabotai, to the Gemara. Gemara, page 61. A. It says exactly. Kol ha'over achorei isha banal, en lo chelek la'olam haba. He wasn't sugarcoating, and he wasn't exaggerating, and he wasn't adding anything. This is word for word. A person that passes behind a woman, meaning he's looking at a woman as she's by the river, beach, river, same thing, has no share of the world to come. This is not an exaggeration. This is what it says in our Torah. And anyone who doesn't believe in a single verse, a single word, a single letter in our written or oral Torah has also no share of the world to come. So if you say, no, I don't believe this. Okay, so you don't have a share of the world to come anyway. Go to the beach, go. It doesn't make a difference. You already lost it. Meaning, this is 15 years ago, Rabotai. Show me more than a handful of people that teach this. Without the obvious ones like Rav Mizrahi and so on. Show me a few, the real ones that actually say this to people. What say this? They go to the beach with them. No, yeah, we're going to have a weekend away. We're going to have the pool in the hotel. What pool? What pool? It's Am Yisrael. What pool? What are you doing with the pool? All of these events, these Shabbatons. They have these Shabbatons, and what do they highlight? We have a big pool, and it's next to the beach. What next to the beach? What is this, Christianity? What beach? What pool? Tell them to stay home. What are you doing? It says a person that goes and looks at women in the beach, in the ocean, not that he's going to the beach like today. That's not what the Gemara is talking about. He's looking at the beach today, laying out, getting some sun, she wants a tan. You know what this woman was doing by the river? She was doing laundry. She was doing laundry by the river. So what happens is she doesn't want to get her legs, her dress wet, so she picks up a little bit a little bit of the dress that reached the floor, she picks it up a little bit, just above her calf. Still covers the knee. Chas v'shalom doesn't all go over the knee. Like today, every dress often, by default, goes over the knee. No, just a little bit, it goes over the calf, so it doesn't get wet from the water, from the river. Because she's doing laundry. He says the person enjoyed looking at her calf by walking at the river. He just lost his olam haba. We're not talking about he went to the beach and he's suntanning with some ice cream, like he's 3 years old. This has no olam haba. This is Rav Nisim again mentions the Gemara. It's not an exaggeration, Rabotai. It's word for word. And I had a chidush when I read this. It continues later on in the Gemara, lower in the page 61a, same thing, same page, 61a. It says, Isha velo achorei avoda, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan said, אחורי הרי ולא אחורי אישה. אחורי אישה ולא אחורי עבודת כוכבים. אחורי עבודת כוכבים ולא אחורי בית הכנסת בשעה שהציבור מתפללים. רבי יוחנן, קודש קודשים, תנא קדוש, able to revive the dead, and did revive the dead in the same Gemara actually, Bar Kapara. He says, when it comes to this, it's better for a person to understand what does it mean, modesty. What does it mean, modesty? There's a breita that says over here, the person, a man, that enjoys staring at another woman's hands while she's counting, he's giving her change, slowly. Let's say she came to a store, she's buying, I don't know, she's buying groceries or something. She's buying groceries. And he gives her the change slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not because he's mentally ill. No. If he's that, he's patur for mitzvot. No. Not because of that. Not because he doesn't know how to count. He knows how to count. It's because he likes to look at our hands. What does the Gemara says? Gemara says, one who counts out money for a woman from his hand into her hand, in order to gaze at her, in order to look at her, even if he possesses Torah and mitzvot similar to Moshe Rabbeinu, who received the Torah from Mount Sinai himself, he will not be spared the judgment of Gehenom. And on him it is written, Yad leyad lo yinakeh. There's a verse in the Torah in Proverbs 11:21, hand to hand, he will not be spared from evil. Meaning, he will not be spared from the judgment of Gehenom, the Gemara says. This is literal in the Gemara. I'm not adding any words. I'm literally writing it. I should have highlighted that wants to see it. Gemara 61a, you see it's in the bottom of the page. So now, this is looking at her hand. This all started, how did this whole Gemara start? It says, what happens if a guy is walking and he's with his wife, and it's a narrow road. It's a narrow road. What do? Don't walk behind your wife. Why don't walk? It's your wife. You're allowed to walk behind your wife. Don't walk behind your wife. You're going to have thoughts in an inappropriate place. Kal v'chomer, meaning needless to say, if it's not your wife, you lose olam haba, you do such a thing like this. Go walk behind a woman? No, either pass her or go a different direction. So then it continues, and it says, what if a person actually intentionally goes to a place to look at women, like let's say the lake, the river, when a woman is doing laundry, it says such a person loses olam haba. It says he doesn't even have to go to that extreme of going to the river and looking at women to lose olam haba. If he just simply looks at her hands, he's taking joy looking at her hands. Now, obviously, you have to look at her hands to give her to make sure the money connects or whatever you're doing over there. But if he's doing it specifically because of immodest reasons, he likes to stare at her, even if he has mitzvot, Torah, like Moshe Rabbeinu it says. Meaning it's giving you the worst case scenario, the best case scenario. So then the chidush is, Rabbi Yochanan says, listen, it's better that a person walk behind a lion than walk behind a woman. it's better that, meaning it's better he puts in life on the line. Walk behind the line, line's going to turn around and eat your head. He's not going to wait for when's lunch. He sees you, oh, 10, nice, tasty. You look, you have a 10. You went to the beach? Come. You went to the beach? Oh, you went over there? Come. So Rabbi Yochanan says it's better that he walks behind a lion and not behind a woman. And it's better that he walk behind a woman and not behind an idol, like a missionary or something like that. And it's better that he walk behind an idol and not go to a synagogue where they're praying and not enter. What does it mean, the last one? Meaning, you see how this is gradually getting worse, but then the last one is hard to understand. So I'll explain to you the chidush here. Rabbi Yochanan is saying, of course everyone knows that going and staring at women, you could lose your olam haba like this. Forget about the sins that it causes you later, the things that you think, which the Gemara in Masechet Avodah Zarah says, don't do evil in the morning and it's going to lead you to evil at night. Meaning you look at women in the morning, it's going to lead you to wasting seed at night. We're not talking about the sins that follow. We're talking about pashut. Bottom line, don't go look at women. Watch your eyes. He says, everyone knows you have to watch your eyes. How much you have to watch your eyes? It's better that you risk your life and not go look at women. But you know this is bad. But it's even worse, it's telling you, to go listen to some missionary giving a shiur at some big knesset. Walking behind an idol. Or buying one of their books just to see what they say. Or listening to one of their YouTube videos just to see what happens. It says it's better you walk behind a lion, not behind a woman. It's better you walk behind a woman that's worse than the lion, and not go listen to one of these missionaries. But it's the worst thing in the world. It's better you even go to this idol than go to a big knesset when they're praying and don't go in. What does it mean when they're praying, don't go in? You go to big knesset, hang out over there and start chit-chatting with everybody. Instead of going to big knesset and praying to HaShem Yitbarach, you went there to say hi to your friends. Instead of going to Beit Knesset and learning Torah, you went there and you went hung out. You yeah, what do you think? Let's read the paper. Why? Why is it so bad? I mean, you see what's happening here? It doesn't make any sense. Why is it so bad? The woman we understand. The lion we understand. The Avodah Zarah we understand. What's the Beit Knesset situation? The Beit Knesset situation, Rabotai, is what you have to understand. More than anything else. Because the other ones are easy to understand. Not looking at women is understandable. Whether it's for ethical reasons or for Torah reasons. It's understandable why you shouldn't look at other women that's not your wife. Walking behind a lion, if you need an explanation for that, we have to take you to a different shiur. Private one. For not walking behind an idol, you don't need a shiur for that. We already had one. Talked about it with Goldberg and Company over there in Boca Raton. I gave you guys between 50 to 100 sources of why you're not even allowed to stand 6 feet next to a missionary. 6 feet, you're not allowed to stand next to them. Forget talk to them. Not to stand 6 feet next to them. That's how dangerous they are. So this we all know. What's the Beit Knesset situation? The Beit Knesset situation, Rabotai, is where the Satan wants to catch you. It's the easiest one to fail because you don't think there's anything wrong. Why? He says, if you go to a Beit Knesset when everyone's praying and you don't enter, what are you really saying? You're saying you don't really believe in praying. You're saying we don't really believe in going to Beit Knesset and talking to Hashem. Nah, Hashem's not there. This is the foundation of Judaism. This is the foundation of the Torah, and you just took it, crumbled up in a piece of paper, and put it in the garbage. Why? You're saying we don't need to pray. There's nothing. Don't pray to Hashem. Don't talk to Hashem. This is atheism. So Kal Vachomer, needless to say, if you go to Beit Knesset, not only you don't enter, you make it worse. You enter it, but instead of praying to Hashem, you start talking to each other. You start talking to your friends. Oh, what do you think of the game? What do you think of this? What do you think of the stock market? What do you think of this car? What do you think of this house? What are you doing? Don't you know you can lose your olam haba with this? This is why I'm now finally understanding. This is why the Shulchan Aruch, Halacha Meforeshet, says this sin of talking in Beit Knesset, Unlike any other sin, it's too big of a sin. Shulchan Aruch says, talking in Beit Knesset, it's too big, it's too much. It's too much to describe. It's too much to describe how big the sin is. To talk in Beit Knesset. Why? Because as soon as you talk in Beit Knesset, Shekhinah leaves. That means that all the people that came to Beit Knesset to pray, who are they praying to? To you? Were you an idol? Who are they praying to? They're praying to HaShem. He left. Why? You chit-chat. You're chit-chatting in Beit Knesset. Meaning all of their prayers are now sitting on hold because of you. The Shulchan Aruch, the Baal Shulchan Aruch, Rabbi Yosef Karo says it's too much to handle. It's too much to handle for you. It's too big of a sin. Now you just took on everybody else's problems. That's where the Yetzer Hara wants to catch you. Yetzer Hara wants to catch you on small things that you don't even think it's a sin. You don't even think there's something wrong with it to fix it.